Well, thought I'd do an update video here on what's going on. Got all my parts all sorted out. I think I got everything I need. I got a variety of the bearings for the crankshaft. I got to make up a jig to get this apart and to split the cases. And yeah, I got to work on that. That's tricky, but I think what I'm going to do is this is the what do you call it? Tool nut. It's supposed to slide into here for my lathe. So I think I'm going to make this first, and then I can start turning some stuff down. Like for one thing, it's going to be the jig. I got to make a jig to hold this crank, and that's what these two center holes are for here. They go right straight through to the other side. And that locks, I can lock the jig. So I got a machine, two posts to go in here, into a steel plate, lock it in a vise, and then I can undo that nut without twisting the crank. That's the first thing. I got a new steel breather gear, get rid of the plastic one. I found, I went through all my boxes on that bench over there. I got it pretty much cleaned off. And I found another set of valve springs and the collars, top and bottom. You can tell these ones are aftermarket. I don't even think they're steel because they're not magnetic. Oh yeah, they are magnetic. Yeah, I thought they weren't because I couldn't get it off of here. But they seem light, like really light. So I got two of them and then two of the regular ones. Here's all my parts. Got a dipstick. This is all from a local dealer in Corunna there, TJ Cycle. And he's got an online website. And he's got everything. It's unbelievable. He's got a set of these retaining clips here. And that's what I was missing. And the valve springs, my original set that I changed on that engine last year, that engine was all fucked up. They were worn out. They're too small, below specs. These ones are way above specs. These ones are like in new condition. They're in good shape. So I got the valves all cleaned up. I'm gonna lap them in. They're in nice shape still. There's no real groove in there at all. It's got a nice seat. So I'm just gonna lightly lap them in and then clean the heads up really good. Tonight I'm gonna take, where's the head? This head here. I'm gonna take it over to Peter's and we're gonna extract these three studs here. And we do that by putting a nut over top and then welding it, and then turn the nut, and we should be able to spin them out. The heat from welding it, the steel in the aluminum should expand it to spin those out. And there's a little bit of a nub to work with, so I could probably get that one with vice grips, but I'm not even going to screw with it. We're going to put the welder nut in there tonight. Maybe I'll film that when he's doing it, and then I could put the heads back together. What else? Oh, I got well, there's that shaft there. That's that shaft that goes there. That's $100. So I'm basically going to rebuild this crank for $100 for that pin. And I got the new bearings. They're $75 Canadian. I only need one of them. And I'm going to sell these, whatever ones I don't use. I'm going to sell the other ones on eBay. So I'm basically going to get those for free, because I'll sell those for at least $75 US for 4 of them. So I'll get whichever one I use for free. And then I got my fueling. They gave me 2 sets of these too. These what the hell's the name for them? Retainers. Oh my God, my brain's just mush. Anyways, this came in today in the mail. There's my fueling performance lifters. for this bike here, so I can get the cone on, get the lifters in, get the tappet blocks back in, get this part all buttoned up, cleaned up, buttoned up. I can get the push rods back in, and then I just have to worry about when this comes in, probably next week. So I think that's what I'll do now. I'll get this thing buttoned all back up. I think that's on the agenda. Yeah, I think, yeah, I ordered these pistons last year online, and they're the newer style with like the coating here on the ends, and they're like new condition. So I got to measure those pistons. The cylinders, the pistons are like new. I got to measure the cylinders, just make sure they're within specs. If not, I might have to bore them out and get a bigger set of pistons, but I think they should be all right. They look all right. There's no scoring or anything. And yeah, these are the original Harley stock lifters, and I'm pretty sure they're all right. I can rebuild the bottom pin here, but there's no play in them at all, so I think those are good. All oiled up. And what else? I got a couple of decals up here for the tank. So I got to work on this thing. Sand this down. I think Peter's saying to do is sand the whole tank down, and then we'll tape this off. I think I'm going to paint that black with the white letters on it, and then he'll just clear coat the whole tank. It's easier to do it that way, it looks better. So I'm going to do that too, right shortly, in the next week, I hope. I've been cleaning up all these parts one at a time, cleaning up the heads, pulled the valve seals off, and the oil pump, I've got it all ready to go. Everything's cleaned up in there. Even the tappet screws, I clean every one individually, then I put them on my buffing wheel and touch them up a little bit. Look almost like chrome once you do that. And that's what I do. I just kind of individually clean every single part right up. Oh, I forgot to ask if he had that bolt when I was there today. So, and I'll put all new seals and gaskets in. And this would be nice to have this engine all cleaned up. I may paint these cases. I'm not sure. I might paint them aluminum gray or black again. If I had a what do you call those sodium blasters, I would blast that and just leave it bare aluminum. I got all these bolts all cleaned up, polished, all in the right spots, all the crankcase bolts, so they're all ready to go. This one's already got the Torrington bearing already in it, the camshaft bearing already in that one. The tricky part's going to be that crankshaft, so I got to make up a jig for that. I'm working on that. So yeah, that's going to be a big project, but we'll get that together. So I'm debating whether to just put that back together right now. That won't take me very long. Maybe I should do that. And then I want to work on grinding and milling this down to fit into here, and then I can finally use my lathe. So I think I will do it in that order, and then I'll go get that head over at Peter's tonight. Okay, that's it for now. This was that thick styrofoam that came in one of the packaging boxes. I'm going to see how it works for an insole. My feet are getting sore in here. Usually means my shoes are getting worn out. And, these are just cheap Walmart slippers, but they're so comfortable. I've been wearing them for 6 months all summer. They're just so light and comfortable. But I think I pretty much wore them out. I bought a new set there last week, but I don't want to use them in my garage. These are oversized. They're 2 sizes bigger than my feet. But they're actually probably only 1 size bigger, so they're a little loose. So lots of room for that to fit in there. See how that feels. That feels a little better. Oh yeah, much better. Standing on cement all day long, your feet get sore. Oh man, that feels really good. I could go dancing. Okay, I think I'm gonna start on this thing here first. I'm gonna grind this T-nut down first. There we go. That's all I need. Works either way. I just made with a grinder. Cut it off. That's all I need. It pinches up tight when the bolt goes through it. That's the tool nut. Okay, I think I can use my lathe now and machine my chuck backing plate. And once I get the backing plate made and get the holes drilled out, I got a lathe. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to turn the backing plate down. Well, I finally got the chuck fitted onto this threaded 1.5 inch shaft. You can see the barely any clearance right in here. This is what I had to machine down. There's probably a good 30-40 thou there anyways. But this piece here was sticking out. Where's my pointer? Yeah, this piece was out to about here. It was about a 1/2 inch long, so I had to machine that off. And I could have taken off a little bit more, but it still works. 30-40 thou, that's good. And I was really worried. I couldn't take too much off because then you see these Allen heads will start hitting on the case if this chuck comes in. So it's just a fine margin there. I wanted to recess in these Allen heads in like 1/4 inch. But I tried drilling into this hardened steel. Oh my God, I can't hardly make a dent in it. So, and I had a really hard time machining that down, just like 1 to 1.5 thou. I couldn't even take 2 thou off that. Well, maybe my bits are so damn dull. I tried sharpening them, but yeah, at least that's working. It's low speed there. The threading's working. Finally, I can make some parts. That's what I did all day yesterday afternoon, was mill that thing down all day. Hardened steel. Okay, I got everything I need now, and I can even true the crank up, putting 2 live centers in, and I could chuck that one up. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now with this. I'm done with that, but I've got all my parts in now for the FXR. I got my lifters soaking in oil. Make sure you get all the air out of them. And yeah, I got the plunger in too. Okay. There's the new style throwout. It's called an oil slinger. Probably to help throw the oil onto those 3-ball bearings in there. And first thing I did was measure it. And it's 67 millimeters long approximately. And the old one is 67 millimeters long, so there's no difference. I could have got away with this one, but better to have the oil slinking on those balls in there. So I'm gonna have to try to adjust it at the clutch end. I got a little bit of room there. And then if not, then I got to start measuring push rods if I don't have enough room for adjustment there. Because I know there's 2 or 3 different lengths of push rods depending on this cover. But let me see if I can make it work. At least I can get this all back together and I can change the push rod on the other side. So that's what I'm going to do now. Take this cover off. Alright. Get this all back together here. So there's the 3 balls there. And as it turns, you can see it rises up. That's how it works. Locating tab on here. You can see there's a slot in the one side of the case right here. That's where the locating tab goes. I'm going to get some white grease put on this. Assembly lube. This will stick around for a bit. Put a little bit around the outside of this too. This is the little clevis for the cable. So I'm going to put the cable in there now. And this clevis has got a square notch, so it can only go in one way. There's a square on the shaft, so it can only get in there one way. I just have to figure out that way. You mother. Should be like straight in like that. Let's see, that's gonna go that way. Oh, this way here, yeah. Holding it upside down. There we go, like that. It goes like that. Grease off my hands. Then the snap ring holds that all down. Snap rings are stamped. This side's rounded. This has got the sharp edge. Sharp edge up. Just make sure that's located in there all the way. Looks like it is. I put the gap out here because the big gap there is how we get more surface area holding it on the inside. I don't know the rule of thumb for that, but that's the way I'm doing it. I'm going to put a little bit of assembly lube grease on this bearing and these two thrust washers. And this surface right here as well too. I'm going to put a little bit on this cable too, so when it gets pulled in there it'll be lubed. And I'm going to put some in where the ball is in the end here too. I'm going to put it on the shaft, put it everywhere, not going to hurt. Just like that. Get the gasket. I think I'll put a little bit of gasket stuff on here. May not need it, but I'm going to put some on. Okay, let me loosen that off, see what we got there. It's 11/16, I think. What the hell is... Yeah, 11/16. And should have looked at this. What's the size? I don't know the size. Looks smaller than 1/4 inch though. I gotta get some light. Yeah, can't see it. 7:30 seconds. That's what I thought it was. So there. 7:30 seconds. Okay, so gotta back that nut out, turn this in, and hopefully it bottoms out. Does not look like it. I got it turned all the way in, so need a longer push rod. Here's where I'm at with the Evo build. I still got to take apart this crank, but I need 2 1/2-inch plates of steel to put in my press over there to press that out. I got to wait for Peter to go to work to get me that. I'm going to measure out exactly what I need. And I like to make up a jig to hold this as well too. He's got some 1/2-inch rod, and I need another plate to drill a hole and weld them into so it'll stationary so I can spin that nut off. So I gotta make that. That's gonna be some time. Might not be till next week. I think he goes back to work next week. The engine right now, what I've been doing, I've just been taking apart everything, cleaning every part as best I can. I didn't sandblast these off or anything and paint them yet, but I'm gonna do that. They'll be painted black, I believe. I might just leave this whole engine like original silver like that. It'd be nice to get it vapor blasted. I'm trying to find somebody to do that. There's nobody in Sarnia that does it, but I think in London, Ontario there is. So if I can get these all vapor blasted, that'd be really nice, like a shiny new engine. I'm debating whether to do the valves. The intake valves are perfect. The exhaust valves, I got all my parts in here. The exhaust valve's got too much of it. There's the intake valve. You can see the margin on there. That's perfect. That's exactly what you want. It's got a good seat, not too big. But the exhaust one, the margin's too big. Oh, that's another intake one. I got the mark. But let's see if you can see there. Yeah, you can see there. It's almost the whole face is the contact point, and it's kind of you can see it's kind of pitted, and so is the seat a little bit. I'm sure these would work. I could easily put this together and this would work. I'm just thinking I want it better or the best. And I got a new rod bearing too the guy gave me. This is all the parts I need to complete it. in here. I got the oil pump all cleaned, disassembled, cleaned all up, all the parts. It's ready to be bolted on. Everything's just loose on here. Everything's just sitting on here, or just snug. And because I'm going to be waiting to do this crank, and that's going to be a week or two. And back to this bike here, I got the lifters. They're still soaking in oil in here, getting all the air bubbles out of them. And but I'm waiting for the pinion driver, the pinion nut driver on here. It's a special tool, so I want to get that on there and torque that properly. But in the meantime, I've been I got the dipstick in there. Meantime, with this bike, I've been screwing around with the clutch in different positions, because this plate, I'm trying to find out the specs on this plate. How this is like 0.385, like it's, or no, is it 0.35 or 0.285? I can't remember now, but it's a thick, heavy-duty plate. I'm thinking it's a little bit too heavy, but I've changed the adjustments on it a little bit, and it's working much better now. Oh, I'm soaking the cable. That's what I was doing all night. Oh, and it worked too. Yeah, you tape a plastic bag around your cable, and nice and tight, and you fill it with oil. And I had this thing full of oil up to there, and I actually used some 2050 motor oil and some Militech. This Militech is the slipperiest oil on the market. I've mentioned that in other videos there. It's an additive, you can add in oil. There's no Teflon in it. It was designed during the Gulf War in 1990, early 90s, 91, 92, or 93, whatever that year that war was, for the tanks and the military equipment in the desert with all the dust and everything, and they are just burning up engines everywhere. So they designed this super slippery oil, and you just need to add a little bit, you know. I think if you're changing oil in your car, you just need to add like an ounce or two, not very much. So I put a little bit of that in there, so that whole cable's coated now, nice and slippery. Because these cables, whenever you buy a cable, they're dry. You know, you got to lube these cables when you buy them. Okay, so that's ready to go on. Still waiting for that nut driver before I can put the lifters in, put the push rods and all that in. And I'm trying to find another spring to compare to this one. I think this is a heavy duty. It looks like the stock spring, the way it's cut out and everything, but man, it's heavy duty. So I pulled that cover off. I just wasn't happy with it. So that's where we're at with this bike and that engine over there. Got my bench cleaned off again. I gotta go to work. See you later. Thanks for watching.